Everybody, KVP Music back here with another album review for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at I the Mask by In Flames. So I want to apologize really quickly for having to have taken so long to make this review. I've been out a lot recently. I'm in grad school, so I've had to finish my semester. I'm studying mental health counseling, so it's just been papers and exams. And I took a little trip up to Maine, to Massachusetts, to Rhode Island. So I have been away, and I have not had the time to sit down and do this review. But I'm back, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, I apologize. I have not heard In Flames before. I mean, I've heard the band before, but I've not fully listened to them. I know you can crucify me. I claim myself as a metalhead, but I've not heard In Flames, so I really dropped the ball on that one. I need to get the ball running on this. So I apologize for that. This is my very first In Flames album. So right off the top of the bat, what do I think? I think it's a pretty good album. Overall, I enjoyed the songs. I thought that the songs were fairly good on the album, and that, you know, for a new listener to In Flames, I don't know how good of an introduction it could be, but for me, I enjoyed it. I'm sure their earlier material is different. From what I've read, this is their 13th album, so I absolutely can understand how they might have changed throughout the time that they have been a band. So without further ado, let's get right into what I think. In terms of what the album is good at, I think they had great melodies. Now this means both the instrumentals and the vocals. I think the vocal lines in most of the songs are phenomenal. Just the way that the vocals are delivered and just the melodies that are centered around the vocals are phenomenal. This can be seen primarily in the choruses of the songs. For example, in Voices, the very first song off the album, just the choruses just grabs you straight from the beginning, as it should. This is the very first song off the album, so it wants to grab you, and it did because of the chorus. Songs should do. The chorus is the grabbing part, and most people remember songs by the choruses, and In Flames did a great job on this album with their choruses. Now, the great melodies doesn't stop at the vocals. The guitars, the bass, all the instrumentals are great. I really enjoyed the riffs. I thought they had some really interesting riffs in there, some heavy guitars, as metal should be, and just overall I thought, you know, even the drums were on point. They were very heavy, they were very nasty, as drums in my opinion should be, and so as a result I thought that the instrumentals of the album are also very good. Good point about this album is that it had a great variety of song types. Now what I mean by this is, so this is a metal album, and you definitely, when you hear metal, you think heavy, fast usually, and it had those songs on there. But it also had its slower, more melodic-y, kind of softer songs, and I think an album needs to have those because it gives you a variety. It doesn't have the same thing throughout the entire album. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but I think when you have the variety, it gives you kind of a break. It gives you more of a story, and I'm sure with this album they were trying to go after that kind of story element. So as a result, I think they did a good job in mixing how many fast songs with slower, softer songs they had, and the order that they put them in kind of lets it flow very well. However, some things I did not like about this album. In terms of its production, there were some parts where the production could have been a little better. The guitars can be a little muddy at times, the instruments could kind of drown with each other, and you couldn't really clearly hear what is going on. The vocals stood out, which is fine because they are the vocals, so you want to push those forward, but it seems like as a result, a lot of the instruments were just not paid as much attention to as they could have been. Like I said, it was a little muddy at times, and I wish that they could have focused a little more on the production aspect. Maybe add a little more effects here and there, just kind of cleaned up the sound of the instruments. Secondly, and I don't know much about this because I haven't listened to it In Flames that much, but they seem to have a very standard metal sound. I feel like I have heard a lot of this sound in a lot of other bands, which is not necessarily, again, a bad thing, because this is a metal band and it's trying to make metal music. However, I just wish that they could have added a little more just variety. When I think of In Flames, I always confuse them with All That Remains. Now, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. You guys let me know in the comment section if I've destroyed all sense of your hope of metal in me. But they just sound very similar, and it's hard sometimes to distinguish them, you know. And I wish they could have added just a little more variety, a little more uniqueness to their sound. Like I said, I haven't heard their earlier things, so I need to go back and listen to that and see how it compares to the more modern material. And I'm sure that may change my opinion on that. So the 3 songs I would recommend to when you listen to this album to get a good gist of it, my personal favorite was Voices, the very first song off of the album. It just grabbed you straight from the beginning. I love the chorus. To it, and it just grabs you right off the bat. And just I'm a sucker for choruses, I really am. If it has a nice powerful chorus with a good melody, it'll kind of grab me. Not that I don't pay attention to the rest of the song, because I do. I think the verses and all the guitar solos and the breakdowns and all the riffs are extremely important, but it seems like a lot of music is oriented to that chorus, and I hate to say that, but it is true, and having a good chorus just personally grabs me. The second song that I recommend is Stay With Me, which is the last song of the album. Now, the reason I recommend this is it's the complete opposite of a lot of the heavier songs. It is slower, it's more emotionally driven, and I just like the message behind it. So I highly recommend you listen to Stay With Me as well, because it'll give you the other side of In Flames to be able to compare to both sides. The last song I liked is All the Pain. I think overall this song is just very well written. Again, everything flows together very well in this song. I like the melodies, I like the riffs, I like just the overall structure of the song. The drums are phenomenal. I recommend you hear All the Pain as well. So overall, what would I give this album? I The Mask, I believe it's a good album. It's not phenomenal or insanely great, but for me personally, and as a first listen to In Flames, I think I would give this a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Please hit subscribe, like this video, and comment to let me know what I can improve on and what other songs you would like to hear. Right now, KVP Music checking out.